So let's see what we get. First pick. Not a particularly exciting pack. Cards that stick out here are Hieromancer's Cage and the Guide to a lesser degree. I mean, it's pretty solid removal. A little bit slow, but very, very good. I think we'll grab that. Luminous Bond, Shield Mare, Aerial Engineer, Dwindle. Pretty hard to get away from those bonds this early, especially with white as our first pick. No bombs in this pack particularly. The Twins are okay, the Mare is okay, but neither of them win games on their own. So we'll take the premium removal. Hey, Care Bear. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't advance time for you. Reassembling Skeleton, Thud, Swiftclaw, Aven Mage, Neonate, Brute, Trumpet Blast, and Sky Scanner. Sky Scanner is the safe pick, I think. Kind of goes well in everything. We can do white-blue artifact synergy with that. Boggart Brute's the fun pick. We could do red-white aggressive with that. Having 2 removal pieces does not necessarily make for a controlling deck. It just makes for a white-red deck with some answers. That could be good. I think for me, between these two, leaning towards the Sky Scanner, I do love this card. Although I like white-red when you can get it going, and Boggart Brute. 3/2 Menace is really solid for 3. It's tough. I like to keep open for the artifact synergies. I think the blue Artificer is really solid. I'm going to take the Sky Scanner over the Brute, but it's actually kind of close for me. Well, we just got rewarded with the best card in the pack being blue, so maybe that's a thing. Oracle's okay. Omen Speaker's solid. The Ogre's kind of mediocre. The Lightning Mare's decent, although we have no other red cards to go with it. And I like blue better, and I like red in this expand. I'll grab the Omen Speaker. There's that Artificer I was holding out for. I guess that kind of triggered what we wanted. Another Brute, too. We could have second Brute. I'm going to take that Artificer and be pretty pleased about it. This card is nuts. Does so much damage. Falcon, Uncomfortable Chill, Totally Lost, Explosive Apparatus, and Colossal Dreadmaw. With 2 solid blue picks already and 2 solid white picks, I'm not super keen on the Dreadmaw. I think Uncomfortable Chill is just fine. I think Totally Lost is just fine. Kind of like the Explosive Apparatus with this deck though right now. Wouldn't mind some more artifact synergies. Let's grab that first. I think we'll see another Totally Lost. Gearsmith is a super solid 5-drop artifact, art synergies, and continuing with our kind of blue-white tempo aggro. Sounds really good to me. Let's pick that up. Aether Tunnel versus Inspired Charge versus Line Breaker versus Invoke the Divine versus Cancel. The ones that really stick out to me at the moment are the Tunnel and Invoke the Divine.
Quitters never win.
Hey, Ice Shots. Thanks to the resub.
Morning. I need to learn more before I play again.
Yes, it's an expensive game to play if you're not doing well. I hear you 100%. I think I want the Tunnel here. As a win condition. See, Invoke the Divine is worth having in the sideboard for sure. Inspired Charge isn't even terrible if we get some more little weenies in there. I don't think very much of the Mind Breaker. We already have a couple 3s that I like. I think I'm going to take the Tunnel. I don't know if that's going to get play yet. One with the Machine. It's the only card in our colors. I don't actually see myself playing it, but maybe. Never drafted the card before because the card seems really bad. No blue-white at this point. I will pick up premium. I think some premium green enchants might be okay. Haven't gotten a lot more white cards recently, but maybe we end up getting a Satyr in pack 2 and think about it. Let's grab the Oaken Form. Take the blue-white dual land over the 1/2 artifact synergy guy. I don't really like him very much. Ghost Form, Neonate, Fire Elemental, Child of Night. There's no way I play a Ghost Form. There's no way I play a Fire Elemental. I guess there's a world in which I play a Neonate, but it's pretty damn low. Oh, Artifact Recursion, very late on the 3-drop body that I like. Sounds good to me. Has synergy with Apparatus, Skyscanner, and Gearsmith Guardian. Seems really good for us. The Pledge, I doubt I'm playing Knight's Pledge. It's a fairly weak piece of enchantment. Okay. The rare and the uncommon are red. A lot of red in this pack. Skytongue Dragon is decent. The Pyromancer is good. The Gutter Snipe is decent depending on what type of deck you're playing. Got a Diamond Mare as artifact synergy for us. You only have the one Artificer right now, so too much artifact synergy doesn't necessarily do anything for us. A little bit of life. 1/3 for 2. Scholar of the Stars is pretty appealing. We actually have a fair number of artifacts at this point. I think we're at 3. And drawing cards is pretty good. Uncomfortable Chill is decent. Inspired Charge is decent. Trusty Pack Beast is decent, although I think that will come around later. To me, it's between these two cards for us. And I don't have a strong sense of that. I don't think a 1/3 fits us very well. But there's a couple cards that we're looking for. If we pick up another artifact creature, there's a couple cards that become a lot better. The white card, the 4 for 3/3 that creates, gives your artifact creature 2/2 and indestructible becomes a lot better. Because now we'd have 3 artifact creatures to go with that. 4 if we animate the apparatus. A little bit of life gain is fine, especially when you're racing. Another skilled animator gets a lot more value if we could pick one of those up. Only uncommon, but uncommon. I think we'll see another Scholar of Stars. I'm going to grab the Diamond Mare. I've never played the card. I don't know how that will treat us. Angel of Dawn, I think, is really good in this deck. I think the Salvager of Secrets right now with no targets is less good. Let's grab the Angel. Luminous Bonds versus an Aviation Pioneer is surprisingly difficult. Pioneer has good synergy with our deck. But I'm going to grab the Bonds as just fucking apeshit premium removal. Second Angel of the Dawn versus second Omen Speaker versus Totally Lost. I think I'm going to take second Angel as a way to keep this deck nice and aggressive. Field Creeper not really doing it for me right now. These other cards are pretty weak. This has our artifact synergies, and it's only halfway through pack 2. So there's still a lot of chance to take advantage of those synergies. Let's grab the Field Creeper over the Chaplain. The other cards really aren't in our colors. Anticipate, Dwindle, Field Creeper number 2. A Submerged Boneyard. I like Dwindle just fine, but I've already got Luminous Bonds, which are just straight up better Dwindles, and I already have a Hero Mercer's Cage. I'm beginning to think a 4th piece of removal might be too much. Might be nice to run and Anticipate. I almost never play this card, and of course we have Field Creeper synergy. Kind of looking to use my mana. Huh. Could even be talking to the Submerged Boneyard. I'm going to go either Field Creeper or Dwindle here. The Anticipate's, I'm kind of scratching a little bit. I'm like, I kind of want that Anticipate. But mostly what I think I want to do is just get creatures down I can take value out of. It feels weird to pass a Dwindle for a Field Creeper. I already have 4 artifacts. I'm not so excited that I really want to run 2 Field Creepers. But maybe? Let's grab the Dwindle. We might end up cutting it though. Bone to Ash versus Trusty Pack Beast in this pack. If we're running overboard, Bone to Ash might actually get us some value. I'm going to take that over the Pack Beast. I'll take a Disperse or an Uncomfortable Chill. The Disperse has some pretty nice synergy for us as a tempo card to remove a blocker or something similar. Probably more so than Uncomfortable Chill. I'm kind of hoping we'll be on the aggression. Grab the Disperse. Pack Beast, Scholar of Stars wield. I'll take that. Inspired Charge is a little appealing too, but let's take the draw card. Novice Knight in our colors, but I'm never playing that in this deck, ever. So I'll grab the Abnormal Endurance. I'll take the second blue-white duel. I'll take the Wall of Mist, but I expect to never play that. Take a Duress. And another Duress. And a Root Snare. Alright, pack 3. Oh. Oh. This card is nuts. I can't imagine pack 3 it's worth splashing, even for a Planeswalker that's this strong. Feels bad though. So we've got a couple options here. The Sea Serpent as a final way to push damage is something. The Cavalry as a mid-range 4-drop seems kind of good for what we have. It has a lot of synergy with our Angels. And then Switcheroo and Skyscanner are the other. I don't know if I already mentioned those. No, I didn't. And Switcheroo and Skyscanner are the other ones. So Skyscanner, Artifact. We don't have all that many Artifact synergies right now. And Switcheroo is very powerful, especially if we have little shitty creatures to give them, which we do. We have an Omen Speaker, a Diamond Mare, a Field Creeper, and a Skyscanner. I feel like 2/2 Vigilance creatures actually aren't bad for this deck. Any card that's splashed no matter what. It's easier to splash a single piece instead of double. This is 2 green as opposed to 1 green. It's a little bit harder. I don't know. I would have to see the card in the moment to answer that question. I don't think I have the wherewithal to parse the entire set and tell you that. I don't know here. A large part of me just wants to keep picking up the draw cards, but our Skyscanners with only 1 skilled animator aren't super valuable right now. I mean, they have a little bit more value with Angel of the Dawn, I guess. The same could be said of Cavalry. We don't have a 4-drop. The Switcheroo is tempting too, but might just be greedy. We have big removal. I think I'm going to take the Cavalry. Starcrown Stag as a 4-drop versus Scholar of Stars versus Aviation Pioneer. They all have really good synergy in this deck, but I think the Cavalry has best synergy in this deck. I want to be aggressive with this deck and beat them the fuck down, and this card is the card that does that. We'll grab that over the other 2. Take Vengeance, a little bit less useful in this deck than you might otherwise expect, since it is a it's a removal, but it removes people on the... I mean, I guess with Stag now, there's a little bit more synergy. It's that or the Aviation Pioneer. I don't really mind the idea of throwing around some wide kind of looking boards. I already have 4 pieces of removal though, with 2 Luminous Bonds, a Hieromancer's Cage, and a Dwindle. I only have 1 Stag to trigger this. I think a lot of times this might just be a dead card in my hand. I'm going to pick the Pioneer up. The Wind Mage, the Bookcase, and the Priest are all okay here. I like the Bookcase ability to get through a stalled board. We don't have much in the way of flyers, but we've got a couple. I have almost nothing that triggers this. This is basically just a 3 for a 2/2. I don't think Pioneer, or rather, I don't think the Wind Mage is all that good for me. A lot of my damage I want to come through on the ground on. Then again, I have no mid-game mana sinks, like nothing to do with land. Like no activatables on any creature. So there's a little bit of argument for the Bookcase. Bookcase is fairly annoying to finish up a game. I think I'm going to Bookcase over Wind Mage. Man, we could have like 4 Bogart Brutes in our deck if we had drafted that way. It would have been super sweet. I don't really like the Knight of the Tusk, even as a big dude to finish it off, and I don't mind a Mighty Leap here. We might be able to sneak some damage in with it. I think I'm going to grab Mighty Leap here. Falcon versus Linebreaker versus Omen Speaker. I'll take the Omen Speaker. Not an aggressive card, but just a very solid card when you play it. Salvager, Revitalize. Pretty unexciting there. I think we only have one card we could salvage. I actually like Salvager of Secrets, but I don't think it's good enough for this deck. 2, 3 with Mighty Leap. I don't want to play Revitalize, though. I'll grab Salvager, but I don't think we're going to play with it. Second Disperse. I can take that and be okay. Sea Serpent as a finisher. Ghost Form or Linebreaker. This card is fairly bad. I think I'll take the Linebreaker. Is there a world in which I ever play Linebreaker? Maybe. I'll take the card in color. I don't want these cards. I'll take the Scarring. Take the Knight of the Tusk. Alright, we kind of got a little robbed. There's quite a few other common and uncommon artifact synergy cards that just never showed up for us, which feels a little bad. I think the deck is fine. I don't want a Knight in there. I'm not sure if Field Creeper makes it even with the artifact synergies. We didn't end up getting a lot of them. I mean, tempo play animator on curve is pretty nice. 17 creatures right now. How many cards are we cutting? We're cutting 5. I think Salvager goes. I think 1 with Machine goes. So this is generally 4 for either draw 2, 3, or 5. I don't think that's good enough to play. We didn't end up getting an Inspired Charge. I was kind of looking forward to an Inspired Charge with this deck. Would have maybe liked to have drafted 1 a little bit more aggressively. I like the Disperses for tempo. Maybe not 2. Really like our 4s. Bone to Ash is a little bit questionable here. I kind of want to be tapping my mana out as I play cards, but I'm going to get to a point where I have nothing to spend my mana on. I'm fairly unexcited by just a generic 3-2, but it does fit curve. It's kind of aggressive. It's nice. It's not a bad card to like throw an Aether Tunnel on or something. 2 more cuts here. Early artifacts I think are decent. I don't know, man. Maybe the Bookcase should be replaced for the Creeper. Definitely want the Pioneer for the Flyer. Hey, Holy Martyr. I definitely want the Skyscanner for the Flyer. The Tunnel is maybe a cut. It's not an amazing card to put Tunnel on. I guess Tunnel on Stag is pretty good. Tunnel on Scholar Stars is pretty good. Tunnel on Gearsmith. I guess there's a few cards where Tunnel might be good. Leaning towards Bone to Ash right now. And the Soldier. Hello, Indignation. Bookcase perhaps a little weak in this deck. I don't know, like that unblockable ability is relevant to me. So 4 solid removal on 3 and 4 drop and a Disperse. This card is one of our few guaranteed 2-for-1s. A lot of other stuff is just a 1-for-1. Pioneer is our weakest creature. but one of our few creatures that does any damage with Stag, right? Like, we have a lot of low power creatures, and we're going to be trying to beat them down. I'm talking myself out of Bone to Ash and out of Aether Tunnel. That's what I'm talking myself out of right now. Maybe out of Diamond Mare. Helmet Speakers are really solid. I don't really like the idea of cutting them. Let's see how removing Bone to Ash feels. I've got 4 other cards that deal with a big creature. It's not that I wouldn't love to 2-for-1 them. No interaction if I get rid of Bone to Ash. I've got 2 bonds, a Dwindle, Hieromancer's Cage, Explosive Apparatus, and Mighty Leap for interaction. And a Disperse. I feel like I got plenty of interaction. One more. Best card in this deck is a Skilled Animator. I think it might just be this Line Breaker. Alright, let's try this. What are we calling this? How are we on land? So we ended up with 15 creatures. Exactly 9 blue, 9 white, which makes it annoying as fuck for the mare. We might have too many artifacts. Like, the mare is a pretty weak card.
Another poor fool, lost in time and space.
Backj Neo, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the channel. The mare is not particularly strong, especially since I now have 3 1/3s, which is really not what this deck wants to be swinging with. It wants to be swinging with something a little bit more aggressive than that, but it is an artifact for the animator, and the 2-drop artifacts have a little bit more value. There's a bookcase in here for potentially cutting for the Field Creeper. Don't love the Field Creeper, don't love the bookcase. I feel like this gives me, I have 3 sources of unblockable between bookcase, tunnel, and Sea Serpent. Maybe I can get enough damage that way. Don't have much in the way of flyers, a couple little 1/1 weenie flyers, and that's about it. So I'm hoping to pressure them, but I'm not sure what I'm pressuring them with. Part of me wants to put that Line Breaker back in, but let's try this. Oh, thanks, Ben. All right, got to figure out the really important stuff, though. I think the important stuff is this deck could have used like a sleep and a charge. Would have been nice in this deck. Where's my Skilled Animator? And what's the deck going to be called? Yes. Putting in the 3/2 would probably help with pressure over the 1/3. Yes, I did just mention that on stream. The downside is artifact synergy, right? So perhaps it's an Omen Speaker for a 3/2. Just that ability is really powerful. Just doesn't fit very well with what we're trying to do. And the 2-drop bookcase and mare, or 1-drop explosive apparatus before the animator is pretty damn good. You know, I'm actually honestly on the border of whether or not to pull back the creeper for that reason too. Maybe I could drop bookcase for field creeper. But bookcase is like a mid-game win condition. Maybe I could drop... I want to try it like is. Okay. What's the deck called? Failed synergies? I could call it bone to ash. That's what we should do. Alright, done.